Hi guys, thank you so much for watching this short lesson on goal setting. Have you ever wanted to accomplish something but have somewhat of a hard time getting there? If so, this short lesson is for you. So without further ado, let's get to it. Let's start with a very quick definition for goal setting. Goal setting simply means identifying what we want to achieve and making a plan to get there. So first of all, identifying what we want to achieve, and secondly, how are we going to get there? Two important steps, the what and the how. There are different kinds of goals. We have long-term goals and short-term goals, which means that you get to play around with it. You get to choose what you want them to be, your daily, weekly, monthly, or even yearly goals. The more the better, as long as you follow the next set of rules that we are going to go over in just a few slides. So let's run through some examples. Daily goals may look something like this, where you establish what you are going to achieve in your morning, your afternoon, and your evening. In the daily goals, you may want to include a list for what you are grateful for, because when we are grateful for the things that we already have, it gives us the motor and the motivator to continue working towards your goals. You may also have weekly goals that may look something like this, where you have all your week laid out and you can start plugging things in. So for example, I will exercise Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I am going out to a family dinner on Thursday night. And that way you start populating your week as such. You may also have monthly goals where you write down what habits or things you are working on and mark down what dates of the month you are working on them, right? And this is another great tool which is called a habit tracker to make sure you are on task with the things you want to accomplish. Last but not least, you may want to establish some yearly goals, which is a way of projecting where you see yourself in a year from now, either academically, socially, spiritually, emotionally, physically, whatever you want to target. Okay, you can do so yearly as well. And there are so many kinds of planners, agendas, and applications on the phone as well that you can use to track your goals, whether they are daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly. As I shared before, there are different kinds of goals. You may have academic, emotional, social, physical, and spiritual goals. And why? Because the more we are able to target these different aspects of ourselves, the more balanced our lives will be. So we don't just want to do academic goals. We really want to target all of those aspects of ourselves to really achieve that desirable balance in our lives. So why do I even care about goal setting and setting goals for myself? There are so many different benefits, and we are going to run through some of them. For example, it helps to make decisions. If you have a list of tasks, you really have to decide, okay, what am I going to do next? It also helps with a feeling of satisfaction and achievement. If you worked hard to achieve something, there comes a feeling of satisfaction because it wasn't just given to you. You worked hard for it, so you deserve that feeling of satisfaction afterwards. It helps to visualize. So sometimes in our minds, everything is a little bit more messy. When we put stuff in writing or even writing things on an app on our phone, it helps to better visualize. We are visual beings. And the more we're able to see it clearly, the more we are able to accomplish them. It also helps with our responsibility because when we start writing things down and we say, okay, we want to do this, guess what comes next? Being responsible and sticking through whatever it is we want to accomplish. It helps to prioritize. Okay, so if I have a list of things, I have to really think what is coming up next, what's most important to do next. It is also a powerful motivator because the more I know what's coming up, the more I know that feeling of satisfaction that comes afterwards, the more I am motivated to continue moving forward with my goals. It clarifies your path. It tells you what you should do next. And last but not least, it helps to manage your time. I only have 24 hours in a day. How am I going to spend them, and what am I going to do to make myself feel satisfied for the things I accomplished? So now let's focus on the how. This is all great, but how do I set up goals for myself? Okay, and we have to follow something that we call SMART goals. And it's an acronym for a few words and phrases that are very important that are going to let us know how to set up goals for ourselves. The first one is being specific. If we are talking about grades, it's not useful when I say I want my grades to get better, because I'm not really being specific. I could, instead of saying that, I could say something like, I want to bring up all of my C's to B's. Okay? That is much more specific than just saying I want to improve my grades. We also want goals that are going to be measurable. We want to be able to measure if we are able to accomplish them or not. So, for example, when you get your report card and when you look up your grades online, you can measure to see whether you are getting to your goal or not. And it tells you feedback of how you are performing and doing with your goals. You want to make sure that your goals are attainable, which means that you're really telling yourself a goal that you are hopefully going to get there. If I have straight C's and I tell myself I want to have straight A's by next week, that may not be so realistic, right, for me. So I have to make sure that I set up goals that are attainable and realistic. Otherwise, I am not really going to be able to accomplish them. Last but not least, we want to make sure that our goals are time limited, which means that we have a set amount of time of when we want that goal to be accomplished. If I say I want my grades to be better, but I don't have a time for them, I don't really have a time bound to when I want those goals to be accomplished, then I'm not going to stick through them. So if I say I want to have all my C's up to B's by the end of the quarter, then I am putting a time to it. Now, let's put all of the ideas together and come up with a wonderful weekly goal plan. Academically, I may want to complete, let's say, 4 to 5 pages of my math summer packet, read 5 chapters of my summer reading book, and throw away papers that I no longer need. Emotionally, I may want to, for example, count 3 blessings every day, express how I am feeling with a trusted adult, and try 1 breathing exercise. Physically, maybe trying a different sport or yoga, something that I've never done before, taking a walk outdoors, and exercising for 30 minutes 4 times this week. Last but not least, for my social well-being, I am going to connect with 2 friends this week, either online or in person, help a friend with something they need, and call a grandparent or an aunt or uncle. Okay? Now, this again, it's just an example. You may want to take some ideas if they work for you. And if not, I invite you to adapt it to whatever it is you need. So guys, I encourage you to set up some goals for yourself. Like Albert Einstein said, if you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. And this is so true because when you are able to accomplish things with your own effort for yourself, your feeling of satisfaction is going to be greater than anything anybody or anything can give you. Okay? So go ahead and set up some goals. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing, amazing day.